Hello and welcome everyone to another video here on my channel. Today we have a look at Dimir Poison or Toxic. It's a toxic deck. There are many right now out there. This one is a bit slower than the green-white, but it's not like a control deck. You try to control the board and attack with like small creatures, and yeah, you have the proliferate cards to make sure that you finish your opponent off. It's more like a tempo deck, I would say, but it's really fun to play, and you don't have to worry. Even though it's toxic, you will be fine. So this is the Dimir Poison deck. I had lots of fun playing this. It's more of a tempo deck, and maybe we can even more design it into a tempo deck itself. The way to win is pretty simple. You want to put the opponent on 10 poison counters, and the way you achieve this with this deck is you have low creatures that try to attack, and then you finish off with some spells. You bounce, you destroy, and proliferate the way up. We also have a way to get our spells back. I'll show you in a second. But let's go over the cheap creatures here. We have at the 1 slot, we have the Skulldweller. So 1 mana, 1/1, Death Touch Toxic. It does its job right. Then we have a package of 8 flyers on turn 2, which is the Pestilent Syphoner, 2 mana, 1/1, Flying Toxic 1. And Voidwing Hybrid, 2 mana, 2/1, Flying Toxic 1. And whenever we proliferate, we can get this card back from our graveyard. This is really nice. We used the Drown in the Ichor on a Gravekeeper, I think is the name, and then we had to discard this card, but we proliferate at the same time, so we got the card back on our hand. So I just think this is a really good card. It comes back over and over, one of my favorite cards in the new set. Then on the 2 slot, we have many spells. We have 3 Bring the Ending, which is a 2 mana counter spell, counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. So the thing with this card is it is a good card, but in best of 1 I will play 3, in best of 4 I will play 4. And if opponent is corrupted, which means 3 poison counters or more, counter that spell instead if its controller has 3 or more poison counters. So it's basically a 2 mana counter spell. Really good mana value, and yeah, it's just something nice to have, right? Then we have Experimental Augury, which is 2 mana instant. We look at the top 3 cards, we choose one, take it on our hand, and we proliferate. So also a way to add up the poison counters on opponent. Then we need some cards to get the poison count on opponent, even if we cannot attack with creatures. So because otherwise our proliferate cards are kind of useless. And here Prologue to Phyresis is a way to do it. It's a 2 mana. Each opponent gets a poison count, and you draw a card. Pretty simple. Serum Snare, I think one of the coolest cards in this deck. There's many interactions you can do, and you will see in the games. It's a 2 mana, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If the permanent had mana value 3 or less, proliferate. There's a cool trick you can do with this. Then we have 2 Drowning in the Ichor, which is a removal spell, 2 mana. Target creature gets -4/-4 until the end of turn. Proliferate as well. Then here we have a 3 mana cost card, which is Distorted Curiosity. If we have Corrupted, aka 3 poison counters, this only costs 1 blue, and we draw 2 cards. Then we have Vraska's Fall, is a good way to deal with Planeswalker, and as well to apply a poison counter. Yeah, because each opponent has to sacrifice a creature or Planeswalker. So I do like this card, because it guarantees the poison counter. Then we also play 4 Arcane Proxy, which is a 7 mana 4/3. But you always play this basically for Prototype, which is 3 mana 2/1. And when Arcane Proxy enters the battlefield, if you cast it, exile target instance or sorcery card with mana value less than or equal to Arcane Proxy's power. From your graveyard, copy that card. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. And most of our spells are here in the 2 slot. We cannot copy these, but that's totally fine. There's a lot of cards to copy. And yeah, you can, for example, what you can do is you can play it. You can copy the Serum Snare, exile it, and bounce Arcane Proxy back. This guarantees you a proliferate. This is the way we won a game, and then you just play it again and you get another one to proliferate. So yeah, neat little combos. The mana base, as you know, in best of 1, I'm not too fond of too many cycling cards. You can play more if you feel that way, but I really want to have the curve secured again on 1 and 2. And yeah, sure, play 2 launches, it's fine too. But yeah, we have Otawara, Takenuma. That's basically the deck. It's pretty simple. I do like it. I had a lot of fun with it. I think I will play it even more. Did you try this deck? I think it was kind of popular in Japan, and I know Mori told me he's actually going to play this in best of 3 in Yokohama, and I'm looking forward to his list and how he performed. I definitely would like to test this out in best of 3 as well. Let me know if you want me to do maybe a video with Mori together. I don't know. I will ask him. And yeah, always feel free to subscribe to the channel. Check me out on Twitch, Twitter, or try my Discord. Let me know what you think about the deck. What would you change? Did you try? Always nice to interact with the community. And yeah, enjoy the games. We go first. Okay. This is a really tempo-heavy deck hand. Especially if we manage to supply the Death Touch here. The Toxic here early on. Pretty good. If. Well, we do. We actually do. So, what's gonna happen is they're gonna play a creature and we're gonna bounce the creature. Or do we? No, we're gonna play this. We take a damage. Take a damage here. But then again, they most likely play a creature here. And then we're gonna bounce. Green. I did not see green coming. Yeah, that's something we're gonna bounce next turn. So we put opponent on 3. We take 2 damage. Yeah, let's see who's faster. Let's see who's faster. They don't play a haste creature, I'm quite happy. We're gonna Serum Snare the Feldon. Okay, that's okay. I mean, sure, they can kill this. It will come back at one point if we proliferate. Okay. We do not want to take the damage here, so this goes back. Yeah, the +1/+1 is okay, I guess. Better than the creature. So then 4 now. Just gonna make sure that we take less damage. Here. I mean, it is a damage again, but we're on 6 now. They go on 7 with the hybrid. Now we maybe play a bit more defensive. We play a Serum Snare. But they're already on 6 and we still have 11 life, which is better than 6, right? 6 is basically over 60%. So yeah, I mean, it looks scary, I guess. They got scared of this little boy. Which is okay, Playing another enchantment here, that is fine. I could see myself playing the Phyrexia here. I also could just bounce this and play the creature. I will take a damage though. Go 9, they play this, I'm forced to block. But do I want to wait with this one? I kind of want to do it on this and just block this one. So I guess we are okay. This one we will block, and if they play the haster, we bounce the haster. That's the main plan. And we also can play Phyresis here. So they go on 8. And then we play this, then they are on 9. It's a different type of counting, huh? A beast caller. Okay. And then probably the haster. It's a bit tricky now. I'm not too scared of the beast caller. But I do want to preserve life. Now they're on 8. There's a chance that maybe just do this and bounce. This way we definitely survive. They're on 9. And we have many cards that just give a token there, a poison counter. We do have a hybrid on hand. It just feels the most safe to do it this way. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. If they obviously come in with the haster, we let the haster go through. And we block Kumano. Being on 9 poison is a feeling you don't like. It's maybe a bit more of the risky version, but then again, they would have to block the Skulldweller. Because it has the toxicness. It has the toxicness. Ooh, that's a big boy. That's a big boy. Well, and there we go. And there we go. Managed to do it. And a win is a win. I mean, I can try it, but I'm really not happy with this hand. It's one of those hands where yeah, you get the wrong. This is why I don't like yeah, it is what it is. Like, it's an aggressive one, and they do a lot of mulligans there, so it could be mono blue, so maybe those Skulldwellers actually do the work. Because it's not a card that's easy to deal with for mono blue. Could be mono red too. Oh, we have one card. We have one card to discard. Yeah, start with the flyer. Easy go through. Gunned. This gunned. What is this? This is an Atraxalist, right? What is going on? They found Atraxa. That's pretty good. You have to be fast. Have to be fast. This one is a problem. But these block really well. Like, these creatures block really well. The red is the worst card to draw, which is kinda annoying. But it feels like the way to win this is countering the spell that gets Atraxa and just trying to win with the flyer. I would say. Let's hope they don't have it this turn. Let's hope. Do you have it? Don't? Oh, good. I now think we just keep our counter up, right? And poison them with our Siphoner. Sounds like a game plan to me. Literally all I have to do. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. That's also a big one. Okay. A lot of stuff. Ah, they play probably the one with flashback, huh? This first striker and then this one really blocks me hard. Kinda funny. Well, I wish I could play it, but I can't. I literally can't. I'm gonna play this one though. Because if there's an all-out attack, this gives me one extra poison if I have to. So yeah, we just do the same. Over and over. Keep the 2 mana open as long as we have to. As long as we have to. That is for sure. And if they go for it, they lose the Gold Hounds right now. Which gives me 4 poisons actually. I think at one point you kinda want to go for it. Okay, I cannot let this happen. Cannot let this happen. Even if they get a Truxa, I'm going to a point where I have a lot of poison counters on. So I could do 3 poison counters. Got the flyer here. Still gonna attack like this, so we put them on 6. Then we have 2 for sure, which is 8. They can only block 2, so they need an answer now. They need the answer right now. It's not the answer. Did they found the answer? That's not the answer. That is not the answer. That's a bit interesting. Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, there's Leechel on board now. So they didn't find it. I mean, happens sometimes. And we had a really awkward hand. We like the 4 rats that are just bad in this matchup. It's kind of funny, but hey, that's Magic, right? I go first. Bit of a damagey hand here if these lands. It could change. It's really big to have that one early on. If this is mono blue, especially if a bounce here and a counter, this is the most important card here. That is for sure. Because we play our cards usually in their turn. That is hard. That is definitely nice to have. Sure, you can do that. Consider it as much as you want, my friend. Go consider. Like these cards you just don't want to counter. Like, just don't. And now we go on 3, which is the threshold, right? Activated. Yeah, we keep the stuff up. Keep the stuff up. Terrors, I would like to counter. The Terror is the card I want to counter usually. Like, they don't have direct removal, because this is the one we counter. And they only have 2 open, so there's no way you can deal with this. And now we're gonna... Okay, they don't have Spell Pierce. Which is good too. So we draw 2 cards. Didn't find a land, huh? Interesting. Gonna play another little boy, keep counter up. Counter and bounce up. If they play the Jin, this is the one. We can counter. Because if we counter, they have to counter too, right? And then we bounce. This secures as a proliferate. You can have that one on your hand. Now they're on 8. And we have 3 creatures and 3 proliferate cards on our hand. I think that's settled. That is settled. We are the toxic masters here. And as you see, we're just gonna turn it on your hand. I think they have a fate, so they definitely have some sort of a counter on bounce on hand. But I don't know what they do here. How do you want to deal with this situation? That's that's not it. Like this type of poison deck is definitely more tempo orientated, so you want to have your creatures and then your spells. I mean, you see that we have 3 creatures, right? Okay. Oh, that's fine. We proliferate. And that's GG. 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 This hand is not good because we don't have a way to apply poison except this on turn 3. It's not what you want. It's not a bad hand, but it's not what you want usually. We have to counter, but this is the only card we can play, so... I mean, we have a way to apply poison this time. At least we have that. We have card draws. Basic Swamp. They look really cool though. Yeah, this comes in first. So we can get the card back. I'm a bit annoyed here in the situation. So if I lose, I don't want to lose Hybrid, because if I lose Hybrid, this one, Hybrid, I'd rather go with this here. Because I feel they have a removal. Well, that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but we need to find a way to get rid of the cards there. It's okay. Yeah, we discard you. Submit, and then we get it back. So basically, do not lose a card here. Nice. We have a block. Go for this one. We have 2 creatures here, and we have a block here, which is good enough for now. Iraq Arena, good card against us usually. Because they have a secured life total for sure. We play a different life game. I could actually bounce Arena here, and I'm quite fond of it. Kinda like this one. We already put them on 5, so this is 7. And if they replay it, there's less threat, so I think it was good to bounce this. Okay, and then Arena, I guess. 7. Enemy duo. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna bounce here, Shelly, I think. Yep. Don't see another way. Don't really... I'm not able to draw cards. If I want to do something, I have to do it now. I have to block the next creature. Hildred is a problem. This one at least doesn't give it to me on hand, so that's 7. If my flyers survive, I'm good. So far my flyers survive. You. Ta-da! Ta-da! 10. Bam! Oof! Tricky game. Tricky game. Green. Green is my favorite color. Hope this goes well. Yeah. More an aggressive type of thing, but we like cheap creatures and then spells. So that is good for us, I think. Good for us. Still have to go in here. I know the block. They have exile cards, so I'd rather play this first. If it gets hit by an exile, then my hybrid. Wedding announcement is fine. I mean, it's not fine, but you know. Now we go creatures. Could bounce the wedding announcement here, but I don't feel something to bounce. Like, the card I don't like to see is I didn't expect to go for it, to be honest. I can tell you that. I want the spells now. The main reason I want the spells is because it's getting harder and harder to attack a deck like this. So also for these type of cards. I mean, I'm not too happy with it. But it slows it a bit down. Gonna be tricky. I mean, if we bounce this one... The thing is, if we bounce this one, it doesn't help us that much. Okay. I'm also not happy with this, of course. They have some good cards.
My judgment is final.
Yep. A good card too. I think we get the Experimental Augury here. Yep. Could also double bounce. If we double bounce... Let's say we double bounce, then they just use the block Bankbuster, so... I think we just need to chain into cards that actually help us. We can Serum Snare our own proxy if we want to. Not too happy with the mana thing. But they're on 5 now. We can get a Phyrexia here, draw a card 2. But we can also keep just bouncing and survive. Paragon. So we can apply a lot of pressure. I think actually we're gonna... Yeah, we're gonna bounce our Arcane Proxy here. Block and bounce.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Bankbuster is the main problem. Because of the Bankbuster, we have to do it this way. Yeah, 6. It's gonna be a close one, but we try our best here. Okay, that's also good. Okay, this time, I'm gonna tap this manually. And draw. We need to find stuff. Still surviving. And now we will block and bounce again. Because of the Serum Snare, the proxy can just do this for some time, so that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, block right now. We have a good Death Toucher here. Serum Snare and Proxy. What a stupid game plan, but hey, it works, you know, it works. And that's it. We made it. We made it. We made it possible. Just make sure we don't bounce the wrong things now. And we can also bounce our own card. Yeah, Proxy. I swear we're gonna tap this again manually. We're just gonna bounce their stuff. But you could also just keep bouncing your own thing here. I mean, I just show you what you mean. You can just bounce this. Submit. then play it again. So it's a bit of a cooler win, and they realize, oh wow, they can actually win like this. And yeah, an alternative way. Cool deck though. Yeah, great games. I love the Arcane Proxy with the Serum Snare interaction. It was super cool. I think the hardest matchup will be Soldiers. That's a tough one. If you really would see Soldiers a lot, maybe do some changes. But then you have some removal for the key cards, but I tell you, in best of one, the Talia Wes is yeah, we had some great games with this deck. Arcane Proxy and Serum Snare interaction is really good. I think the deck is a good game against most decks, but I would say the hardest deck to beat by far is Soldiers, because Talia is really, really strong. You have to have a removal for the card, and then you can only put it on 3. It's really, really hard. If you would see a lot of Soldiers, you can add the -1/-1 for 1 mana. You can even add cut downs if you feel like you need it. But other than that, the deck, I think, is good positioned in best of 1. You have a good game against most of the decks. That's literally the only one I would say it struggles. But I mean, as you know, no deck is perfect against everything. But it's a lot of fun to play. It has nice lines. It's a tempo-ish deck, so usually they have some really cool lines to play around. And yeah, if you watched to the end, let me know in the comments as usual. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to hear from you next time. Bye everyone.